And that, I think that was the thrust of what was happening. Other than that, I mean, when we figure our nonprofit rate, when we initially considered that many months ago, the nonprofit rate is what it takes us to operate the building and make a minimal, have minimal income so that we can still operate the building on a cost-efficient basis. But not try to get more profit than we, you know, and a less amount of profit for us. And so is that more or less what you figured, Chaz, when you did that?
For what's that?
The rent for the all city.
When you came up with the cost for that
Yes, when I did the breakdown. So it was the breakdown whenever I came back with the breakdown of what the gym was being used for the summer program on her sports events, and then I had a breakdown of the office hours of what the room that she uses is. Yeah. So that was the breakdown.
On nonprofit.
Nonprofit says, yeah.
Did you include utilities or no?
I did, but it was in a separate box. Just because she's not the only one in there, it was kind of hard to tell. That side uses about 3,000, so I broke it up into 3 sections.
Mm-hmm.
So our bill is around 10,000 every month. So from there is 3,000. That's what it was coming out to for this that side, and then the ballroom I broke into two halves. But yeah, so I should have brought the paper. I have it in my office. But the way I broke it down was what she uses her days for practice, games for the whole year, and then the summer program of what time they come in and what time the kids are here. Yes, and those are the hours.
And you did base it on the number of hours.
Yes, because on the I know on all her games and practices, it was around 10,000. Her office space was 8,000, and then the summer program was around 9,800 altogether. That's what we put it all together, and that's what we had talked when we came up with the number of what we should go off of. And that was the nonprofit price, yes, for the hours.
And we went less than that.
Yes. Yeah. And that wasn't included, because I didn't, for that, I didn't include in the, what was always asked for the electric and the janitorial, everything else.
Does anyone else have a comment?
Did that answer your question, Ms. Wolf?
Yes, it did.
So you know what the board is asking for next year. What is your response to that?
$19,200 a year is just, in 2 years, our program will be closed. It's way too much money for us, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, is
Do you
that an
have a-
absolute must that you're standing on that 19,200?
I'm waiting for you to tell me reasons why we shouldn't.
Well, because we are an at-risk youth organization. And the thing is if we're not here, and I understand, I'm a businesswoman. I understand the reason why you need to make money here. You have an overhead that you have to meet. Understandable. No, that's not what?
Deb, you keep on saying we need to make money. You know, even at, if you were to agree to 1,600, it's not even covering the cost. So we're not making money. So.
On us, no. I was saying it, I meant that in general, not us. I'm saying in general. Overall picture here, you have this whole, the center up here, and you need to establish things in here where you can generate income. That's what I meant.
Well,
So
you
your
can generate-
bridal extravaganza is generating you income, correct? Your dances, everything that you do in here, your idea is to generate income, correct?
There is a debt to pay for everything that's here.
And that's what I had just said. You just understood what I meant. I wasn't
I don't
narrowing
think
it
she was
down to all
referring
city.
to us as trying to make the money off her specifically.
Correct, I was not.
She's saying that we've, over the period of time, over a year, we need to be as profitable as we can be in our facility in all our
Right.
aspects.
And I'm saying that I do understand that concept, that's all I'm saying. But in lieu of that, for the 4A board and the city to stop subsidizing our program, we're gonna be hurting a lot of low-income people here. So really, this community center that you have here, it helps a lot of those low-income people. If we don't have the program, then those kids aren't gonna be in any sports. They're not gonna be able to do any of this stuff because they don't have the money. I don't know what to tell you. We have a very good program. I told you that, we've given thousands of dollars in scholarships to kids to come into these programs that couldn't afford it. And, I mean, this community center should be for the community. And I don't understand, well, I do understand, but I don't want to understand, why we're even brought up to the idea of asking us for $19,200. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing, if we could do $5 a kid for membership fee, we would be willing to do that. We have 330 kids that use city property. They come into the community center and they use the pool. Those kids that use city property, if you want us to charge them $5 a head for coming in here, we could do that.
So you want to go from 1,200 to 1,500?
Well,
A year?
yes, sir.
I
Would you consider
certainly
that?
buy into the idea that that we're subsidizing things, and I think I don't know if you like the word subsidize, I think we're facilitating something that's good for the community, and I certainly think your program is good. That is not a question as far as I'm concerned. However, there is a place in here somewhere where we can be accommodating and resourceful enough between the groups to come to a place where we can both survive.
Yes.
And that's what I'm concerned about. I would like to find that place.
I would like to find that place too.
And I wish I could come up with a magic thought. I've thought of little ideas or big ideas all the way through. But bottom line is, we've got to find a way to, my objective in this is to find that middle ground where we can say, you can survive, maybe not as comfortably as you have. We can survive, not maybe as comfortably as we want, and come to a place where we can negotiate a set of ground that we can
Well,
work.
gentlemen, I just did my annual budget for 2019, and we have about $3,900 in the good over to balance our budget. So in other words, everything's balanced, and I have $3,900 extra. But the way we make our income, it is based on projections. We have to project how many children are going to come in, how many are going to be coming through the door, how many are going to be using the concession stands, so forth and so forth. So, I know you saw that profit and loss. That one was it the last profit and loss? We had 20,000, but we had grants then. We're not expecting that $10,000 grant we got from STISA, the South Texas Youth Soccer Association. That went to soccer fields, and that's a one-time grant. We can't even go after that again. Not your soccer fields, we're out at Hilton Park.
They let you use your free.
Excuse me?
They don't charge a rental fee. Sarah doesn't charge a rental fee.
No, they don't, but they don't mow either. They don't buy the paint, they don't stripe for us, they don't fertilize for us. So that's what that $10,000 grant was, plus that $10,000 grant went to our coaches' stipends. Because all of our coaches that come in, we give them half off for their kids, encouraging them to come and coach for us. Because you're gonna have a lot of parents, with these parents that have 4 and 5 kids, they can't
How much was
afford to
that
come
grant
into
for?
it.
And
That grant was for 10,000.
10,000.
And then the one for
So-
the one for the Baptist,
Was 7,500.
for the second time they received, that's the second time they received that one.
Yes, and that was included in what you were looking at. So the only grant that we got so far for this year is the 7,500. I plan on getting the Walmart grant we get every year, which is $1,250. I plan on getting the HEB grant, which is $1,500. And then the city gave us, they've been cutting us down, but we're down to 500 for the Phelps's grant.
Debbie, maybe you don't listen to what you're saying. You're using these grants to service another park, another field, and you're residing here, you're having tournaments and everything here in this building, and we're getting $100 a month.
Do you understand, though, what a grant is? When you go after, I'm telling you, those grants were what you were looking at as far as that bottom line. When you do a grant, not to go and get in trouble, because they're gonna have you pay that grant back if you do not spend those monies on what you said. The Baptist Health Foundation grant is to pay teachers for the summer program. The HEB grant is to buy food for the kids, because we have all those snacks and stuff we have to buy for them. The Walmart grant is for supplies that we have to pay. That all goes into the summer program that is here at the community center.
Well, then maybe you're focusing on the wrong grants.
But even with that, I mean, just to take their business, you have to tell them what you make, what you need to operate. And so for operation costs, it's just showing $100 a rent per month, then they say, okay, then you don't need it for that. Because she has to tell people the $100 to operate it. I just think, I mean, I know, maybe.
But you're talking federal and
Maybe-
state grants, that's
maybe
not what we're going
19 is-
after.
Maybe 19,000 is not the number, but clearly $100 a month can't be the number either. So we have to find an idea.
Well, that's what I
So-
was talking about a minute ago. I thought I made that clear. There's got to be a place there.
She did offer 15.
Do you have any other expenses, like, does anybody get paid for?
Yes,
doing that?
I get a salary, and so I do have an assistant, and she's part-time, and she makes $8.50 an hour.
And if you don't mind me asking, how much do you get
I make $35,000 a year.
a year? 35,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
You
And I
have
run
Cory-
5 programs.
And you also get car expenses, right?
Yes, we were donated that car, so for the 2019, I have put aside $160 a month for automobile expenses.
So that car was donated.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's for gas and it's an old vehicle, so it breaks down a lot. We have to put it in the shop. You can ask Johns about that.
But you pay more
Well,
for
in your
car
report,
maintenance.
you showed that, where, how much you pay for insurance,
Pay more
license,
for
and
car
so on.
maintenance.
Excuse me?
I said on the profit and losses
Mhm.
sheet that you gave us the last time, I noticed where you have fuel, which is sort of a little over $1,000 of fuel, and insurance, license, repairs, and other auto expenses, which is almost $1,000 for that.
Yes, sir.
You'll also have savings, right?
Yes.
Okay? Have you taken that into consideration, what you have savings
Well,
and
if
all
we
of
pay the
that?
19.2, the savings will be deleted quickly.
Well, see, I can, and I think this is the one that you gave us the last time that
Yes,
you
sir.
were here.
I'm sure it is.
And I went over it, and I noticed where, of course, how much you get in salary. It says in employee benefits and salaries, it's $45,148. Investment income is a little over $2,000. Contribution to gifts and so on, grants, is a little over 20,000.
For that year, yes, sir.
Yes.
For
Yes,
that
ma'am.
year,
I'm sorry.
it's not
Yes, ma'am.
every year that we get that.
Well, you also have a savings and investments.
Mhm.
Okay, that's 52,000 that you have there.
I don't know that.
Well, it's in here.
If it says in there, then that's what it
Yeah,
is, but I don't know what it
it's
is
on
off the
this
top
page.
of my head.
Okay? Of course, that year on registration itself, it was almost $90,000, that money that came in on registration on 2017.
If that's what it says.
That's what it says, yes. Labor contract, what is that?
That's when we hire people to come into the gym to clean.
Okay.
So, that shouldn't be that much, correct?
On the labor contract?
And then we have teachers, some of our teachers were on contract labor.
Mhm. Okay. What is the credit card fees that you have?
We opened it up where parents can come in and they can purchase registration through credit card. So we have Square, and of course, like any credit card company, they charge you fees for using their card.
You also have your office expenses as $4,000, let's say, yes.
That would be for the whole year.
Yeah.
And then I believe in that year, we had to buy a new computer because our computer fried, and also in that year, we had to purchase a copier.
Okay.
But we don't have that, numbers aren't for I don't think I have that in there for our present annual budget.
Okay. And travel expenses, again, it shows it on this for $3,000.
And I don't know-
Investments.
okay, and I don't know what the travel expenses were. Sometimes the CPA, it's Diane, she sees stuff that's not marked, and so she was putting it in different spots, because I was asking her about some of that stuff. So I've refined my bookkeeping and make sure that everything is categorized correctly, so it has gotten better. It's not randomly being put in slots, because it didn't have the check memo on it or something. Our CPA is Werner Grizel, by the way. She takes
Okay.
care of it.
Yeah, I noticed that on
Yes,
this
sir.
report. Mother's Day's out, what is that?
Should have been not Mother's Day out, that would have been the Mother's Day event. We were trying to raise money by having the theater here in the ballroom. It was a Sunday afternoon event where they came in and we did a mystery dinner theater.
Mhm.
It was a fundraiser.
Fundraiser?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was a little over 3,000, right?
Are you in profit?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that's what we made then.
And just for the record, when the city gives a donation for the Phelps grant, we also give an in-kind of use of the facility. And so there would have been, if we gave $500 that year, they would have given her $5 credit in using this building that year as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So you're saying that on top of the $100 a month, we give an additional $500 in
Well,
cash?
when the city, it's not cash, it's an in-kind. When the city, depending on how we do for Phelps, we get about $6,000 for Phelps. We give it to different organizations. This organization is one. If we give them $500 in a check from Phelps, then we also give them $500 like a coupon of use of this building. That's for anyone. Ready to do that.
So that year that I'm talking about, the 2017, you finished the year with a profit of 24,500, is that correct?
That's what's on there, yes, sir.
Okay, so you did pretty good that year then, no?
Yes, sir.
That's all the questions I have.
I just have one, Mr. Chairman. In reference to, I think, when you were reading out the numbers, thank you so much, you said $90,000 in registration fee? Right. And so what if we talk about getting a percentage of the registration fee? Not all, I mean, just that's money that comes in and then you have to pay it, but a percentage of that fee, and so if it's a good year and.
That $90,000 includes soccer, which doesn't come into the city properties.
Okay, registration fee, whatever that registration fee is. Even though it's you office and you run it,
Yeah, so that's why I had made the comment that if we paid a certain amount per head, that's basically what we're doing out of that registration fee. We're gonna be pulling out $5 per head.
And what is your registration fee?
Her registration fee last year was $90,000 what they have on their thing.
Our
90,000.
registration fee, well, I don't know what it is, but that 90,000 included soccer. And we have a big soccer program.
Yeah,
That's why.
It's housed out of here though, Debbie, right? I mean, so
Not soccer.
No, I'm saying.
Your office.
Your office, you
Office.
running and making all the arrangements, it's, the
So,
head of it's run out here.
What you're saying, if I move my office here, then I can save money?
Your office is already here.
But if I move my office out of here, I can save money? Because you're wanting to charge for the soccer program that doesn't even use city property just because I have an office here.
But let's just say registration fee, whether it be soccer or whatever it is, out of that 90, what do you think is soccer?
We have, for out of my numbers, I had 330 kids that came through for swim team, volleyball, basketball, summer day camp in 2018, okay? Out of that, I counted 237 kids that were soccer players. So I didn't even put them in with the 330 because I'm only putting in what is actually coming over here using your facility.
I'm just speaking to registration fee. How much of that $90,000 is soccer registration fee?
Well, I don't know. Who's got a calculator and knows how to do the math?
Hey, we got a phone. Okay, I'm ready. All right.
So, let's see. How would you do that? I'm not a math person. Who's math person here?
How much is your soccer registration fee above what?
If the soccer registration fee is the
If
same.
a kid came in here for just soccer,
How much is that?
nothing else, if they came in for just soccer, how much would that cost them?
The program fee is $60
Per kid.
per kid.
And you get how many?
So, say 330 kids come through here.
For just soccer?
No.
No, if we're
There.
talking city, soccer doesn't use this facility.
So out of the $90,000, you said that the registration fee here is just $19,800?
Yeah, because she grouped everything in with that registration fee. You don't see anything on there for fundraisers and stuff like that.
I'm
All
sorry,
of that
registration.
stuff is on the registration form, but the program fee is $60. She was grouping everything off of what the form does. So like, for instance, say for instance you have a fundraiser. You have the choice of doing a $25 donation, you can do a $28 shirt, you can buy a bag for $45. You're gonna have different fees for that registration form that you fill out.
But that is all revenue though.
Yes, it's all revenue.
Can I ask something?
Yes, ma'am.
Debbie, as far as for your summer program, is the school still providing your lunches?
Yes,
So that's an expense you don't have, right?
that's correct.
Debbie, bottom line, what is it that you feel comfortable with? We've given you our numbers.
Well, what I feel comfortable with, and this is what I really like, guys, is
And be reasonable.
I'm gonna be, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna be straight with you guys. On the registration form, we have a $20 membership fee. That membership fee goes and covers our liability insurances that we have to provide you, Pelton Park, the San Antonio River Authority, and the high school if we're using any of these properties. Of course, you know that we have to have that. That goes, and so we go with Markel Insurance. So part of that goes to that. The rest of that money goes to other insurances that we might have to go ahead and spend on, or other expenses. We could take, at the most, we could probably take $10 out of that 20 for the kids that come through here. But if you take all of it, we're not gonna be able to pay our liability insurance. Because like I said, our years are different. You guys are looking at 1 year. you have one bad economic year, and you're not having the kids come in, you're not having your grants, you're not having your sponsors, because we have the sponsors come in and they help us pay for the kids that we're allowing to come into our program for free. Because we still have to buy them their shirts and their socks. We still have to provide them with all of this stuff that all the other kids have.
So, and I'll give you an example, okay? Spurs League called me today because they're interested. They pay $10,000, $10,500 for the 8th Street gym. It's about to be condemned. That's how much they pay at that gym.
Yes, what part of the Spurs League? The part that's the nonprofit, Chaz, or the profit side, which is the Predators, and they get, those coaches get paid for doing, coaching those kids? Which part?
Spurs League. Spurs League, the school charges them that flat rate, $10,000, and that's what they have to pay, no matter if they're nonprofit or profit. They got to pay the $10,000.
My point is, though, there is a split. You have a profit side of the Spurs League, and you have a nonprofit side.
Is the Spurs League asking you about availability for their entire program?
Yes, they are. They're looking
Or
for.
do they distinguish between?
No, they need another facility because they called and said the school's about to condemn that building.
Yeah.
That they can't use it anymore, and they're looking to come out here, house out here, or get more gym time. Because they need room, because they have a big group of kids too as well, they do every year.
I was just shopping around thinking you guys are probably gonna be kicking us out of here. And I called the school about the 8th Street gym, and they're not planning on condemning it. They just told me that the Spurs League has it. So I don't know if the Spurs League or whoever you're talking to is telling you the whole truth. But you should call the school and find out for yourself and see what the truth is on
And then
that.
you're
But
shopping, did you
regardless
find
of
a place
that,
for $100 a
actually,
month?
that's
Excuse
not
me, in your
germane to
shopping,
this.
did you find a place for $100 a month?
Because,
There's
It's
no
Chad,
places
his
out
name
there
is
at
Chad
all.
Chesser.
yeah.
His name's Chad Chesser, he called me, and that's what he wants to just, and it might not be this year because they already paid for both gyms. They paid for the they paid $10,000 for the 8th Street, and then they paid another $8,000 for the Longhorn, which is at the high school.
I think what is significant about that is not whether it's being condemned or not. I think what's important about that figure is that is what they're charged, the school is charging, because that's what it costs the school to operate that facility.
And not only that, he pays for all the maintenance fees for that building, because the school does not do it. The school will not
Do
maintenance
you
that
mind if
building.
I double check on that, because the school is not telling me that? They told me that they
All
like them
the
in
only
there
inf-
because
inf- only
they've
thing I
been
would be
putting the
interested in
floors
knowing
in.
is the amount they're charging. Seems to me that that's the important part about that statement, is that they're charging that amount of money. And what, it also occurs to me that, you know, we're charging baseball and all these others that want to use our facilities out here money. I'm very concerned that we are equitable to everyone, not just Debbie. I want to be equitable to her, but I also want to be, when I have to look at football in the eye, and then I have to look at baseball, and I look at other things that the city sponsors, or city, I don't mean sponsors, houses, takes on as renters or whatever. These programs are also in this bucket. And I think that I want to see an active city program. I don't necessarily think that we're ever going to make money on it. I think we will lose money till the day we die on this. But there is a factor of being a service to the community that I'm interested in. I want to see as many kids as possible playing this sport, doing activities that are good for kids, with quality programs and quality coaching, for the least amount of money we can do it and still survive. I don't think that we can go out here and say that we are going to run a program for nothing. We can't. We cannot do that. We can't afford it. We don't have the money for it. But there isn't, like I said before, there is a place where we can either manage a quality program with, that the kids can afford, that we can afford, and our event leader or system leader can afford, i.e. Debbie or the village, whoever it be. And I wonder sometimes why we have two different soccer organizations in this town. We have